Hello everyone. This video presents a notable event that happened on each day from the past week in history. On September 22, 1948, USAF pilot Lieutenant Gail Halvorson began dropping candy via parachute to the children of Berlin. In 1948, the USSR tried to cut off West Berlin from supplies from the West, starving the population. The U.S. and its allies began an operation dubbed the Berlin Airlift, flying supplies of food, fuel, medicine, and other essentials to West Berlin surrounded by the Soviets and their East German lackeys. Halvorson was one of those pilots of cargo planes, and when he noticed hungry faces of children lined up by the West Berlin airport, he decided to do something about it, fabricating parachutes to drop candy to the kids at his own expense. When his superiors heard of his efforts, they initiated Operation Little Vittles and made the drops official for the rest of the airlift. Have you ever visited Berlin? On September 23, 2000, journalist, author, government official, and gun control advocate Carl Rowan died at the age of 75. Of African-American descent, Rowan was the valedictorian of his high school class, graduated from college in 1947, became a commissioned officer in the U.S. Navy, and went on to a career in journalism and government service, including serving on the National Security Council. As a prominent advocate for civil rights, Rowan was also a proponent of gun control, and made the extreme case for a law that says anyone found in possession of a handgun, except a legitimate officer of the law, goes to jail, period. Nevertheless, in 1988, Rowan used an illegal pistol to shoot a youth that was trespassing in Rowan's pool at night. What other examples of extreme hypocrisy can you think of by politicians and pundits? On September 24, 2015, yet another religious-related tragedy occurred when as many as 2,000 faithful Muslims in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj were stampeded and suffocated when a large crowd met another large crowd at a road intersection and chaos resulted. The worst tragedy in a long line of Hajj-related tragedies, some estimates were as high as over 2,400 dead, the worst Hajj-related disaster. In previous articles, we have discussed tragedies and disasters related to religious events and locations, and asked the question, what do these tragedies mean? If you are a believer, you are bound to wonder why God would allow his faithful to suffer so much. Are they being punished for something they have done or not done? Virtually all major religions have suffered tragedy and disaster of their faithful and their holy buildings and places. On September 25, 1555, the peace treaty known as the Peace of Augsburg, or as the Augsburg Settlement, was signed by the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V and his opponents known as the Schmalkaldic League. The signing took place in the German city of Augsburg, giving the treaty its name. The Holy Roman Empire of the time consisted of a Catholic consortium of countries in what is now Germany and various bordering countries. Opposing the emperor was the Schmalkaldic League, an alliance of Lutheran princes within the empire that sought to either usurp the Catholic leadership or at least protect their own religious and political interests. The peace treaty allowed each sovereign state within the empire to choose its own religion and no longer demand fealty to the Catholic Church, as well as allowing for some individual religious freedoms. As a question for my students and subscribers, do you believe government should have anything to do with religion? On September 26, 1983, Australian 12-meter class yacht Australia 2, representing the Royal Perth Yacht Club, finally won an America's Cup yacht race, the first time in 132 years that the cup was lost by an American sailboat representing the New York Yacht Club, thereby ending the longest win streak in sporting history. Some other sporting win streaks by comparison include, in 1916, Major League Baseball team the New York Giants won 26 games. In 1971, NBA Pro Basketball team the LA Lakers won 33 games. From 2003 to 2004, NFL Pro Football team the New England Patriots won 21 consecutive games. From 2014 to 2017, women's college basketball team the Yukon Huskies won 111 regular season games, 126 games counting playoffs. What win streak do you find most impressive? On September 27, 1962, the book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson was published. The book dealt with environmental science and focused on the widespread use of pesticides and the disinformation provided by the manufacturers of those chemicals. Carson made a case that the indiscriminate use of these chemicals was poisoning the environment and killing off many beneficial insects along with the pests. Additionally, many birds suffered ill effects from the pesticides, and Carson projected that one day the birds would be gone, hence the title of the book. You might have thought a cataclysmic environmental disaster, such as the Cuyahoga River burning, the 3 Mile Island nuclear disaster, or the Love Canal poisoning of the Earth, might generate a tide of environmental attention, but Silent Spring is generally regarded as the start of the environmental movement, causing DDT and other pesticides to be banned and the EPA to be established. On September 28, 2008, the first Formula One night race was held, the Singapore Grand Prix. The high-profile international auto race was won by Fernando Alonso driving for the Renault F1 team. Later it was discovered that Alonso's teammate had been ordered by team managers to deliberately cause a crash to help Alonso win the race. This race would not be the first or the last time pro sports events were fixed, either by cheating or by deliberately losing in order to affect betting outcomes. Some other examples include the 1919 Black Sox scandal, during which Chicago White Sox players threw the World Series. In 2016, during Kobe Bryant's last game, Utah allowed him to run up 60 points and lost the game. And in 2017, the Houston Astros stole signs and tipped off batters to win the pennant and World Series. What pro sports do you think are fixed? As a question for my students and subscribers, which event from this past week in history would you most like to learn more about? Please let me know in the comment section below this video. If you liked this video and would like to receive notification of new videos, please feel welcome to subscribe to History and Headlines and become one of our patrons. Your viewership is much appreciated. For image, audio, and other credits and attributions for components of the individual videos in this compilation, please see the descriptions of their respective videos, which are linked to in this video's description.